premium. Pumalanga. Then let's take Northern Cape.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, for the opportunity. Chair, the Northern Cape informed by its appreciation that the bill was, it's technical in nature, and that it was only meant to make provision for the listing of the agency as a major public entity in Schedule 2 to the Public Finance Management Act, and also to provide for the delisting of the Trans-Caledon Tunnel Authority from Schedule 2 to the Public Finance Management Act, and to provide for matters connected thereof. Therefore, I support the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mimang. Our whip of the committee, Limpopo, Honorable Molokome.
Thank you, Chairperson. Limpopo supports.
Thank you, Honorable Mabibo, Northwest.
Thank you, Chairperson. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Bokoni Bupirima support.
Thank you very much. Let's then take Gauteng.
Gauteng support.
Amapanya support. Amapanya honorable. Okay, now let's then take KwaZulu-Natal. We have considered all the facts that were put before us, and we are in full support of this bill for its adoption. Then Eastern Cape, Honorable Peter has apologized, is not here. We will have to proceed with the voting before this meeting so that we process these issues. Thank you very much, honorable members, for your own support and voting of the process. We are indeed now going to be entering into another session. Don't check out of this platform. Remain in the platform. You must drink water for now. Exactly at 10 o'clock, we'll reconvene. But with the Public Service Commission, then on Wednesday, we'll deal with the final mandates of provinces. Just to be certain that after they've received every response, what is their final mandates. So we'll process that on Wednesday next week. Thank you. If members, that concludes, if we accept all this concludes our first session. We're now going to be entering into the second session of our meeting, where we'll be meeting with the Public Human Rights Commission, and as well as Matibeng and Kehleng municipality, whom we visited before. We said those municipalities that we have already visited, when this report is presented before us, at least we should have them so that we can also follow up on any matter that you would like to follow up. Thank you very much. Let's then wait for 10 o'clock so that everybody joins for the second session. It's now 2 minutes to 10. Thank you.
It's Matibeng, and which one, Chair?
Is it Kehleng?
Kehleng, Honorable Klaser.
Oh,
Kehleng, yeah.
Oh, I remember, yeah, at the corner there. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know the pronunciation of KwaZulu Natal, but yona le.
It's Kehleng.
Thank you very much, honored members. We reconvene to the second session of our meeting. It's exactly 10 o'clock. We are now joined and we wish to welcome our guest, Dr. Boshoff, from the South African Human Rights Commission, as well as Mr. Tonoko Modise, who's the commissioner in Northwest Province, the Northwest Provincial Manager, and Mr. Hodi, research advisor of the commission. So you are welcome, Dr. Boshoff and your team. Feel free to be part of us and engage us as the select committee responsible for COCTA, public service and administration, human settlement, and water and sanitation. We are also joined by Matibeng municipality, the municipality we visited last year. The executive mayor, Councillor Douglas Maiman, is with us. Thank you very much for joining us. The municipal mayor or the speaker, Councillor Benzi, and whip Councillor Paddy, with the municipal manager, Mr. Quiet Khatla, and acting technical director, Ms. Tagazi Takeshe, and other officials who may be part, because we did not limit the municipality in terms of bringing their technical team, Honorable Mayor, so that if there are questions that members will have, everybody will be here. Your CFO, human capital, experts, and everybody that can help you to respond to the answers of this body. Then the next municipality is Gauteng, local municipality, which we also visited. Councillor Jacobs, the mayor, was also with us and during the visit, and he has joined us. And we also have the speaker, Councillor Mlife. We have the whip, Councillor Selolane. Sorry for the bad pronunciation. We also have the acting municipal manager, Mr. Polosen, and acting CFO, Ms. Deboho Mohabi, and acting director technical services, Mr. Madisa. Those are the members of the delegation led by the executive mayors from the two respective municipalities. The reason why we have called these two municipalities is that there was a resolution taken by this board that we need to do follow-up on all issues which were raised during our visit, oversight visit in these municipalities, and assess the progress. So we are hopeful that once the commission have tabled the state of these municipalities, Honorable Mayor and their delegation, they will be able to tell us the progress that they have made in regard to the issues that were raised, but also what the commission will be raising concerning their performance. That's a sole reason why we with you here. Other municipality, Honorable, we are scheduling during the constituency week the visits so that we can go back to those municipalities to assess the progress so far. With those few words, we all know that this is the year of fixing local government, of making local government work and work better for our communities, especially as the engines of economy, to take into consideration both township and rural economies as well, and their inclusion in the spatial development framework of municipalities, and how we manage finances so that there would be sustainability. But with all that, we are also noting that there is a process which is on the pipeline on the review of White Paper on Local Government of 1998, as well as the review of funding model for the municipalities in our country, because those issues were raised when we interacted with stakeholders in all these municipalities, that there is no adequate funding for infrastructure, no adequate funding for meeting the obligations, since other municipalities, their revenue base is not that big, and they are unable to execute some of the constitutional obligations. So with that, let's then welcome. Are there any apologies, Mr. Manel? I think we are all here beside Honorable. You can just repeat it, Honorable Peter.
Yes, Chair. In terms of the invitation sent on your behalf, the invited guests, they are in the meeting, Chairperson. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you. That takes us to the first item, honorable members, which we must also adopt the agenda for this session, because we adopted the agenda partially. No, we adopted the agenda in its entirety, so we can just proceed to Human Rights Commission report, and we'll ask Dr. Boshoff to take lead, and we wish to appreciate your presence, Dr. Boshoff. Even when we were conducting visits in Free State, you were with us throughout. We really appreciate that and commend your dedication to executing your responsibilities with your team. Over to you, Dr. Boshoff.
Honorable Chairperson and honorable members, good morning, and thank you so much for inviting the South African Human Rights Commission then to make this presentation this morning into the state of local government service delivery in the Northwest Province. Chair, I would also just like to thank you for inviting us, and specifically also treating the service delivery inquiry report that we issued in 2024 in the Free State province with the necessary urgency. I'm also aware that your committee took some resolutions, and that even the Deputy President was requested to answer some questions in the NCOP. So we, from our side, as the South African Human Rights Commission, we really appreciate the urgency, but also the seriousness that the committee has exercised with regards to the work of the Human Rights Commission. I can just indicate, Chair, that the provincial manager in the Northwest Province is actually Ms. Shirley Mlombo, who is also on the platform. Mr. Modise is the provincial manager in the Free State Province, but Ms. Mlombo is in attendance, and I will request her, if there is municipal specific issues or questions with regards to detail Northwest Province, I will also ask her then to respond to some of the questions. But thank you so much for the invitation. Chair, we have sent the presentation to Mr. Manele. I'm just going to request him to flight the presentation for us, please.
Dr. Boshoff, you have been giving, hosting rights. You may share your presentation from your side if you can.
Okay. Let me just check with my office. Mr. Mukodi, is it possible to flight the presentation?
Morning, Commissioner, and morning, Chair and honorable members. I would request
hosting rights so that I can be able to fly it. Thank you.
Mr. Mohodi, you have been given rights to share the presentation. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Honorable Chair. The presentation has been.
Sorry,
quite-
Commissioner, before you proceed, can I get an indication if Mayor of Matibeng can just greet us, just to give this committee an assurance that the mayor has arrived and the delegation? Executive Mayor, my man, are you here? Or any troika, the speaker? Let's work on that, Mr. Manele, if they have not joined. Maybe they're having difficulties. Let's check with them, because we want them to hear this report. Mayor Jacobs, are you here with your team?
Honorable
So-
Chairperson,
Yes.
is the MM speaking? Quiet, Khata. The EM is in the meeting, is struggling to unmute. If you look at the attendance, you'll be able to see he's in the meeting. He's trying to sort out the unmuting part. He will talk to us.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, MM, for that response. Anyone from Matibeng? Or that was Matibeng. Anyone who can give us an indication for Gauteng municipality? Anyone who
Thank
have
you.
joined from?
No,
Yes.
I'm joined. My name is Andrew Poulos, the acting municipal manager for Khetlen Refere local municipality. Greetings to the chair, honorable members.
Yes. Where's the mayor, MM? And the troika?
I'll check. I'll just check on the background. Let me check. Maybe he has got connectivity problems, because I thought that he had joined, or maybe there's issues. But I'll update. Let me check with him.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Over to you, Dr. Boshoff. You can proceed. Sorry for that.
Not a problem, Chair. I'm just waiting for the presentation to be flighted. There we go. We can move to the purpose piece more. Right. Honorable Chair and honorable members, the purpose of this presentation is for the South African Human Rights Commission to present its investigative report into the state of municipal service delivery in the Northwest province. Now, this report was released in November last year, and we again would like to extend our appreciation to this committee for inviting us then to also present this report at today's meeting. Next slide. Right, Chair, you are familiar with the mandate of the South African Human Rights Commission, and as you correctly pointed out, we also accompanied you to your oversight visits in the Free State last year. But the Commission is established in terms of Section 181 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, and we have specific powers in terms of Section 184 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. And those powers are mainly to promote respect for human rights and a culture of human rights, to promote the protection, development, and attainment of human rights, and then also to monitor and assess the observance of human rights in South Africa. Next slide. Now, the Commission has the powers in terms of our legislation to investigate and report on the observance of human rights and to take steps to secure appropriate redress where we feel human rights have been violated. Next slide, please. Now, Honourable Chair and Honourable Members, the South African Human Rights Commission, through our Northwest Provincial Office, has over the years been inundated with service delivery complaints, and those complaints spanned a wide range of critical issues. They related to access to water, electricity challenges, housing challenges, sanitation challenges and sewage spillages, refuse collection challenges, and then dilapidated roads. Next slide. Oh. Okay. Now, when we conducted the investigative inquiry into service delivery in the Northwest Province, we obviously made some specific findings. We also issued some recommendations to both the municipalities and the provincial government in dealing with the findings we have made. And later on in the presentation, I will just show you the link to the full report. But here's just a summary, Honourable Chair. The report clearly states that communities are living in dams of sewage in the Northwest Province. Residents in municipalities such as Matlosana, JB Marks, Getlengrivier, Ngaka Modire, and Rustenburg are frequently exposed to raw sewage overflowing into streets, rivers, and even private yards. Now, Honourable Chair, this is a violation of the right of residents to an environment that is not harmful to health or well-being as enshrined in Section 24 of the Constitution. And it is a further violation of the National Environmental Management Act, which obliges every organ of state to prevent pollution and ecological degradation and remedy it where it has occurred. It is also a failure by municipalities to promote a safe and healthy environment, which is one of the objects of local government, as you know, honourable members, listed in Section 152 of the Constitution. We also found that communities are living with thirst. Several municipalities are failing to supply households with clean and sufficient water as mandated by Section 27 of the Constitution and given the content by the Water Services Act. Now, the next bullet, the statistics reflected in that specific bullet, or under that bullet, we found in the 2022 South African Statistics Report. And the report states that there are high rates of water interruptions in Makwasi Hills. Now, the frequency of water interruption stands at approximately 90.6%. That was according to the 22 Stats South Africa report. 90.6% water interruptions. Getlengrivier at 88.6%, Moses Kotane at 73.1%, Moretele at 72.1%, Rustenburg 71.6%, Dr. Ruth at 68%, and Ngaka Modiri at 67.7%. High water losses in many municipalities in the Northwest. We have found poor water quality in some municipalities in the Northwest. That is just with regards to access to water and then obviously the quality of water in the Northwest province. Then we also found that residents are living with litter in the Northwest province. Several municipalities such as Mahikeng, JB Marks, Rivier, Makwasi Hills, and Kagisano Molopo are failing to address the scourge of illegal dumping. Again, the next bullet, statistics that we retrieved from the 2022 Stats South Africa report. That report stated there are low rates of refuse removal. Kagisano Molopo at 21.9%. That is the frequency of refuse removal. 21.9% of the time refuse is being removed. Rivier at 21.9%, Moretele at 33.9%, and Mahikeng at 34.6%. Now, this is a violation of not only the residents' rights in terms of Section 24 of the Constitution and the municipalities' obligation in terms of the Waste Act, but, Honourable Chair, it also violates residents' right to human dignity. I mean, if you live in litter, if you live in sewage, that obviously violates your right to human dignity. Then communities are also experiencing a blacked out environment, and they are living in the dark. The failure by some municipalities to provide electricity violates residents' rights of access to adequate housing and basic services. It also undermines residents' rights to human dignity. Again, human dignity comes into play, and predominantly with regards to all the findings we have made. No toilets in some areas in the Northwest province. Residents and municipalities such as Rustenburg, Dr. Ruth, Makwasi Hills, Moretele, and Moses Kotane are subjected to utilizing toilets that do not allow them to live a life of dignity due to lack of basic sanitation. And you know, Honourable Chair, honourable members, there are areas in the in Northwest, and I'm specifically referring to Makwasi Hills, extension 17, where people are still relying on buckets due to the absence of toilets. In the other municipalities that I've referred to, and I can even mention the exact area, pardon, the exact areas in those municipalities where communities are still making use of pit latrines, VIP toilets, etc. Then the fact that people do not have access to proper toilets, again, violates the residents' rights to dignity and a basic sanitation as provided for in the Water Services Act. Then sometimes communities get isolated and cut off in some areas in the Northwest province. The lack of reliable roads in municipalities such as JB Marks, Ditsobotla, Moretele, Moses Kotane, and Rustenburg violates residents' rights to freedom of movement as determined in Section 21 of the Constitution. Residents and communities of these municipalities struggle with access to schools, clinics, and emergency services due to the poor roads infrastructure. Children in these areas are forced to walk through flooded streets or navigate unsafe, deteriorated roads, which infringes their right to the security of the person under Section 12 of the Constitution. And we've seen in other provinces, the Eastern Cape in particular, where children on their way to school had to cross rivers and unfortunately passed away during the process of doing so. Now, Chair, we have also, when we met with the MEC for cooperative governance in the Northwest Province, we have also brought this specific finding to his attention. And then also when we met with the MuniMec structure in the province, we also referred to this specific finding. We are saying that the provincial government is mandated to intervene, but was missing when there was a complete collapse of service delivery in the Northwest Province. The systemic failure by the municipalities in the Northwest Province is also a failure on the part of the provincial government of Northwest. Sections 139 and 154 of the Constitution mandates the provincial government with the duty to support, strengthen, monitor, and intervene where municipalities fail to fulfill their constitutional obligations. However, the sheer volume of unresolved complaints confirmed by site inspections and corroborated by oversight reports shows that the province's support and intervention has been insufficient or ineffective, perpetuating systemic non-compliance at the local level. And we've received thousands of complaints, Honourable Chair and Honourable Members, over a long period of time. And the fact that nothing was done with regards to resolving these complaints by the provincial government made us make this specific finding. It is therefore a case of the provincial government of the Northwest being mandated, yet missing in action as the collapse of municipalities continues under its watch. Now, an overview of our findings, Honourable Chair and Honourable Members, and Chair, that is the link that I referred to earlier. Honourable Members, if Mr. Manele could just email you the report, you can then just click on the part that you'll see where it is pointed at the moment, full report. You can just click on that part and it will provide you with the full report that we released last year. But a summary of the findings contained in the report is as follows. The city of Motlasana, we found that this municipality is beset by chronic sewage spillages in Orkney and Alabama and has experienced long delays in repairing sinkholes in Stilfontein, which has resulted in the violation of the rights of residents to dignity, safety, and life. JB Marks is experiencing persistent sewage spillages, erratic waste collection, poor road infrastructure, and water shortages across Ikageng, Ventersdorp, and Goedgevonden, which infringed on residents' right to dignity, health, and sufficient water. Makwasi Hills, and I've referred to some challenges in Makwasi Hills already, but this municipality suffers from inconsistent water supply, ongoing sewage and littering challenges in Wolmerandstad, Kakala, and Teflon, which violate the rights to dignity and water and sanitation. Again, the full findings are outlined per municipality in the full report, and I'm inviting all honorable members just to click on that report, and then you will have access to the full report. At Dr. Ruth Mompati District Municipality, this municipality battles with widespread water shortages, poor water quality and sewage spillages in Bloemhof, Revillo, Gainesa, and Huhudi, which resulted in violations of residents' rights to sufficient water and a healthy environment. At the Lekwa-Temani local municipality, this municipality fails to provide registered residential sites with roads and electricity, particularly in Boitumelong, which has violated their rights to basic services. Then the Kagisano Molopo municipality suffers from the mismanagement of the Bray landfill site, which has compromised residents' right to health and dignity. The Ngaka Modiri Molema district municipality is beset by persistent water shortages and sewage failures in multiple areas within its jurisdiction, among others Ipelecheng, Mahikeng, Setlagole, Lichtenburg, Garileng, Kraipan, Marietsane, and Zeerust, which has violated rights to water and sanitation. The Mahikeng local municipality fails to manage illegal dumping and stormwater flooding near Bopelong Hospital, which has endangered residents. Ditsobotla, you are familiar with the challenges in this specific municipality. Honorable Chair and honorable members, you're aware that a national cabinet representative has been appointed as an administrator in this municipality, but this municipality has failed to complete the road project in Itsoseng, Zone 2, which has hindered residents' movement and dignity. I also visited Itsoseng, and it really is a concern. It is just, you know, when there's a health emergency, I just cannot see emergency vehicles getting to the specific house on time. Those roads are just in a terrible, terrible condition. Then the Getleng Rivier local municipality is beset by persistent water shortages, sewage spills, and unsafe settlements in flood zones, which were found to violate residents' right to dignity and a safe environment. Madibeng local municipality battles with water shortages in several areas, among others Jericho, Kagisanong, View, Majakaneng, and Letlabile Block E, which has left communities without a reliable supply in violation of their right to have access to sufficient water. Moretele local municipality fails to maintain road and water shortages, and water shortages continues to affect rural communities and schools, implicating a number of rights, including the right to education. Moses Kotane local municipality is experiencing widespread water and sanitation challenges across multiple villages, including Tatlaganyane, Momorogong, Mabeleng, Maulagane, Ramokastad, Bapong, Uitkyk, Voordenker, Sandfontein, Siga, Tweelaagte, Mahobbieskraal, Pietseduseleyang, Rietfontein, and Lesetleng Clinic, affecting the provision of sufficient access to water and healthcare services. Rustenburg local municipality is engulfed by chronic water shortages and sewage spillages across several communities, including Ramochana, Klabane, and Marikana, as well as poor road conditions which have amounted to sustained violations of residents' constitutional rights. Again, this specific slide refers to a summary of the directives that have been issued, and again, the full directives are outlined, Honourable Chair and Honourable Members, in the full report. There's a need to deploy operational teams to resolve sewage spillages within 24 hours of reporting. I repeat that, Chair. There's a need to deploy operational teams to resolve sewage spillages within 24 hours of reporting. And it is not a far-fetched directive or recommendation that is being made by the South African Human Rights Commission. This is actually a provision in the Department of Water and Sanitation's norms and standards into water and sanitation. And those norms and standards actually compels municipalities to resolve sewage spillages within 24 hours. Then also to request, we also requested them to submit 30-day progress report on remedial actions taken. Then the development and implementation of costed time-bound action plans within 90 days to permanently address systemic service delivery challenges. And then lastly, the call to remediate environmental damage caused by sewage, waste, and illegal dumping. Now, we have also made specific directives with regards to the provincial government in the Northwest Province through its Coxta department. And these directives are the following: to review all current interventions at the cited municipalities and implement any additional interventions as may be required to support municipalities with technical expertise and project management, to monitor compliance with these remedial plans, to facilitate emergency funding where local budgets are inadequate, but the rights violations are severe, to address the security of service delivery infrastructure, to curb vandalism and theft, and to ensure that persons and entities responsible for the destruction of critical infrastructure are held to account. And we've seen this challenge, Chair, in almost all the provinces, in fact, in all the provinces in the country, where infrastructure, municipal infrastructure is vandalized and theft is occurring. But we have also made the statement or the claim in a policy brief that we've issued in 2025 that municipal infrastructure is deliberately sabotaged so that service providers, but also municipal officials and even municipal councillors benefit by, and how do they benefit? You know, they outsource the service, they outsource water tankering, and at the end of the day, the infrastructure is never upgraded, never maintained, but service providers continue to benefit from the scarce resources of the municipalities. And we've seen it in many provinces. Even the Free State where you visited, we also referred to that scourge in our service delivery inquiry report. We also requested the provincial government to address continuing power cuts in some municipalities which disrupt the provision of water and sanitation services. Now, Honourable Chair and honourable members, we shared this report with all respondents following the public release of the report on the 18th of November last year. The day after the release of the report, we also met with the Honourable MEC for Kokstay in the Northwest Province, Honourable Molapisi. We presented the report to him, and the report was well received by the Honourable MEC, and he also agreed with the findings that we made in the report. We have also requested to present this report in the Northwest Provincial Legislature. There was an indication that we would present towards the end of November, early December, but I think the specific committee ran out of time, and we will probably present early this year. Then, very importantly, Chair, we also on the 5th of December last year presented the report to a specially convened MUNIMEC. This is a structure consisting of the relevant MEC Molapisi, and the municipalities. I think both mayors and municipal managers form part of this structure. We presented this report to MUNIMEC on the 5th of December, and again, the report was well received. We did not receive during the meeting any disagreement from the MEC or the municipalities with regards to the findings. However, Chair, that meeting resolved that a consolidated action plan to address our directives would be developed. Unfortunately, Chair, we are still awaiting the consolidated action plan that emanated as a resolution from that meeting. And then we also presented on the 17th and 18th of February, we also presented this report to the Northwest Provincial Lekgotla, and the Premier of the Northwest Province presided over this Lekgotla. Next slide, please. Then, Honourable Chair, we would just like to thank the committee again for the opportunity to present our investigative report to you, Honourable Chair, and to the Honourable members. We also want to thank the Select Committee for inviting us to not only to this meeting, but also to your provincial oversight engagements in the Free State Province. I think that visit was received extremely positively and favorably by communities in the province, and we are available if you want to conduct a similar oversight engagement in the Northwest Province. We are also available to accompany you to some of the identified or selected municipalities. Now, I would also just like to inform you, Honourable Chair, that we've not only conducted investigations into the Free State Province and the Northwest Province. Over the last 5 years or so, we've also conducted inquiries in the KZN Province into water, Limpopo Province into water and service delivery, Mpumalanga Province into service delivery. In October last year, we conducted the service delivery inquiry in the Northern Cape Province. That report will be released on the 22nd of April. I will also be presenting it to the Honourable Premier on the 23rd of April. And then during May, Honourable Chair, we will also conduct an inquiry into the water challenges in the Gauteng Province. And we are requesting the the committee, you know, if you require any information with regards to the findings we have made in all those provinces I have identified, we are more than willing to also make a presentation to the committee or even to accompany you to these provinces when you conduct your oversight visits, so that we also brief you on what we found in those provinces. And then lastly, Chair, just a humble request from our side that the committee continues to exercise its oversight over relevant organs of state in the Northwest Province to ensure that the report of the Human Rights Commission does not gather dust. We need all hands on deck, Chair. I've said it so many times, you know, when I've had media interviews. To fix local government requires everyone. It requires your committee. It requires the portfolio committee in the in the National Assembly. It requires Chapter 9 institutions, national, provincial, local government, civil society. We need all hands on deck to address the challenges that we have seen over a long period of time in local government. And we thank you for the initiative last year, and we would like to request you then to continue doing the great job that this committee has been doing. Thank you so much again for the opportunity, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Boshoff, for the comprehensive presentation, which give details, and details are also attached on the reports that we have received. Thank you for your concerted efforts to try and support municipalities to raise issues that the members of the public are not happy with, especially on service delivery. And we really appreciate the role that you are playing to ascertain that the constitution of this country does find expression in all what government does on the ground. Thank you very much. Honourable members, we have now received the report. I hope that board mayors have joined and the troikas. Let's start with Matibeng. Mayor Maimane, are you here?
Yes, good morning, Chair, Honorable Chair, and honorable members, colleagues. I'm on the platform.
Thank you very much. Did you show your face? I didn't see you on my side.
No, I did not use this camera.
Yeah, the rules of Parliament require that even if it's a virtual platform, but we have to show our faces.
Okay.
If it's possible, if it challenges.
No. I'm receiving assistance. The gadget is about to fail me. Yeah, I hope you can see me now. Yes, Chair.
Yeah, we can now.
Can I proceed?
Okay. You can introduce. Yes, you can introduce your delegation.
Yeah, Chairman, Honorable Chair, I'm here with the Speaker of Council, the Whip of Council, as you saw them on the. I think they have joined us, the Municipal Manager, the Director of Technical Services, and I did not see the CFO here, but I think he might have joined us. And that's the team that has joined you in your honorable sitting, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure you have heard the report by the South African Human Rights Commission. We'll give you the opportunity to, before we also ask them, but we would like to hear your version on the issues raised.
Yes, Chair. I heard the report insofar as it affects us in the municipality, because broadly the report spoke to all municipalities in the province. But when it comes to Madibeng, there are specific issues that were raised. And I would like to submit at this platform that I'm not seeing this report for the first time. There was a session arranged by the MEC, as Dr. Enke indicated, in which this presentation was done, and the municipalities across the province, including our own, was directed to respond accordingly to the issues that has been raised. And I may, without any equivocation here, state that we did respond to the findings of the Human Rights Commission. In our situation, it refers to the supply of water in Ward 2, which is referred to here as Jericho, and Lekabile, Ward 38, but the areas were mentioned, but we know where those are, Ward 11. And parts of an area called Khabalazan. I think I picked up those which were referred to here, mainly on matters of a free flow of supply of water in the area. And I must also take an opportunity, which I would also request your permission, Chair, that I would allow the MM also just to give further details to what I'm going to present here. You shall remember, Chair, you visited our municipality, a very successful engagement we had with yourself. We visited the water treatment plant in Bretz, which, as I speak to you now, is still not yet complete. The intention were presented to you that it is to extend supply to those areas which are currently, in terms of the Human Rights Commission, are found not to be getting a free flow of water. I think that's where the problem comes from. But as I said, we responded to, in particular in the area of Lekabile, some of the informal settlements, including in Damonville or 21. We have actually initiated the process of putting up steel tanks and drilling boreholes in those areas so that we equip them and then we supply people with water. In one of the areas referred to in the report called Ward 11, I said, Block G in particular, which affects also another section there called Block I. We have installed a steel tank there, equipped it sufficiently, drilled required number of boreholes, and we're pumping water into that. As I speak to you, the project is about 70 to 75% complete. In the area mentioned called Jericho, which is Ward 2, you shall remember the intention of the water scheme in question, which you visited, was intended to supply to areas beyond Lekabile to reach the community of Jericho. In the current conditions of supply, we are using water tracking just to improvise, but equally we have a long-standing completed project there with a reservoir that has not been filled with water. And alternatively, we have also opted to the use of boreholes in the area. And the team is on the ground to ensure that the boreholes are equipped also to maximize supply so that we do alleviate the plight of our people in the area of Ward 2, as I said. And in areas of Kabalatzani and so on, where Ward 10 is affected in terms of water supply, mainly the problem comes from the Tshwane area, which I think we have also raised it with the Human Rights Commission to come in between us and the municipality of Tshwane and Rand Water, because on a number of occasions, Tshwane, without even informing us, would reduce pressure such that the people in the area are unable to receive free flow of water. But we have now developed an approach as a solution to the area permanently. We have allocated, because we have improved last time you were here. You remember we had an unfunded budget. In the last budget adjustment, we have improved and adopted a funded budget, which paves way that for the adoption of a funded budget in the near future. What brings that matter here is that we're able to turn around our financial system such that we'd like to save and put up a bulk pipeline between the Rand Water and our areas in the eastern part of Madibe, so that we're no longer going to rely on Tshwane as they are continuing to interfere with supply as and when they feel like doing so. Even though we honor payments, as I speak to you, we have arranged to pay Tshwane, Rand Water, all our creditors, so that there's no interruption of services to our people. Be that as it may, Chair, let me take this opportunity to request you to allow me to grant the MM an opportunity just to add to the skeletal presentation I've just made to you in response to the broader presentation by the Human Rights Commission, which we appreciate. And as a Chapter 9 institution, we stand by their findings, and their findings are true, but nothing else but the truth. So I would like to request you, if you allow, Chair,
Before we
just for
do that, Honorable Mayor, can you just give this committee a progress on Section 106, whether you have received that report, which was conducted by the province? What is the progress in regard to that? Secondly, just give us the state of a municipality as we speak.
Yeah, Chair, let me indicate to you that we awaited the presentation of the 106 report by the MEC, and the MEC just informed the speaker. I think the speaker can further indicate that such a report is withdrawn indefinitely. Council was convened for the presentation of that report. So I think it is for the MEC to can engage with yourselves regarding that report. We as council, I think, as far as I'm concerned, we are waiting for that presentation by the MEC. The second matter which you speak to is the matter of the current state of the municipality. As I said to you, firstly, there's been an improvement in terms of our audit opinion, although there were some few findings which we are working hard to improve going into the future so that we achieve a clean audit. The second matter, the third issue regarding the municipalities,
So
that there's been...
you received unqualified audit opinion?
Yes, we received an unqualified.
unqualified?
Yeah.
Or qualified?
Not unqualified. Yeah, it's qualified. Yeah, with findings. But as far as we are concerned, we have with a history at our disposal of about 15 years of adverse findings. We have seen that there's a great improvement, in particular with the low level of findings on the part of the municipality, that there are a few things that we had to sort out, like payment to the Auditor General and some of the issues regarding our creditors. And hence I say we are working very hard to reach to a point where in the next audit process, we shall have improved. The creation of capacity of producing our own AFS, or those are the things that we are currently looking at. And the municipal manager has actually begun even a process of filling posts, which created a serious challenge in the area of AFS production and so on. The other issue is that there's generally a stable running municipality. And as I have indicated that we have adopted a funded budget, it has its own far-reaching implications, in particular for irregularities such as your supply chain management challenges and so on. That has affected, in particular, an area called water tankering. You know, it has been a problem in our municipality for almost a decade plus. So the turnaround in that area is likely to attract or create an impression among the service providers or your business people, who then choose to initiate programs that would ultimately create an impression as if there's instability, when in actual fact there's a pushback of some sort as a result of adopting an unfunded budget. Council resolved that we adopt that unfunded budget and give the municipal manager a mandate that revenue enhancement should be embarked upon and cost containment measures should be introduced. Irregularities that we saw before in the municipality should be dealt with, such that we're able to do a saving and implement some of the programs that we intend to achieve of turning around the situation in terms of your water supply. As I said earlier on, the findings by the Human Rights Commission has found us to have failed to provide water in a particular area. And when we looked at the cost analysis, we found that we're spending a lot of money on water tankering, which would be used better in putting up a pipeline between ourselves and Rand Water, so that we get supply of our people in the eastern part of our municipality. We found that we need only 30 million to put up a pipeline, yet we're able to pay 110, 120 million for water tankering. So that turnaround situation is likely to create the animosity on the ground, particularly from the side of service providers. Generally, there's improvement in terms of how we would use the minimum resources at our disposal for service delivery and improving the administration
We've
of
lost
council.
you.
Oh, am I audible?
Yes, you can switch off the video. Maybe the video that disrupts your reception.
Yes, so I'll do so.
At least we have seen you not talking to the mayor.
Can you hear me now, Chair?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just saying, basically in terms of administration and council itself and the community at large, I think everything is smooth sailing, except for that particular discontent that would come from the side of those who feel aggrieved as far as the changes that are affected are concerned. So if you don't mind, Chair, if you're happy with what I said, I would request that Chair, we allow the MM just to make an addition on specific details regarding those findings of the Human Rights Commission.
Thank you. MM, we've been directed by Honorable Mayor to come in.
Very much, Honorable Chairperson. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Can we see you?
Oh, yes. Let me video myself. Am I visible?
Yes, we can see you.
Thank you very much. Let me switch off for connectivity purposes. The video.
No problem. No problem.
Thank you.
Have you not been suspended?
No, it's we just wait and see, man, Chairperson. We will grow a thick skin as we proceed. I know it was on a lighter note. Thank you very much, and let me observe protocol quickly. Thank you, EM, for the opportunity to clarify the House. Maybe let me start proper with the Human Rights Commission issues. Just to confirm that so far we have got five reports that we received. Obviously, the provincial-wide one is the one that becomes number 6, which we are also working on. The Lekabile, the Jericho, Majakaneng, Public Works. This is a matter that affects Public Works, is in Tolwane. We clarify to say it's not part of our scope. Kahisano in Rankua. Those are the 5 areas. Public Works obviously is not ours. So we're left with Kahisano in Rangua, Majaganeng, Jericho, and the Lekabile. But just to indicate, out of the 4, it's only Jericho that we're still working on. But the issue of Lekabile, Majaganeng, and Kahisano, those are the issues that we certainly can indicate to the meeting that we have managed to succeed in resolving. The provincial one, the one that was done at a provincial level, obviously overseen by the Honorable, the MEC. That is another document that we are trying to finalize and make sure there's a submission through there. Our findings are found on page 78 to 82. Not so many issues. We think we can resolve those and submit a report in that regard. Generally, otherwise, Chairperson is to concur with the EM and indicate that it's covered me a whole lot already by elevating our main issues together with the solutions that we've brought forward. Maybe let me start with the strike urgently that hit us recently last week. The strike was coming in the name of water supply, which community members were made to believe that the municipality has stopped a fleet that involves water tankers. And by doing so, they'll be denied services, a message which was incorrect. The correct message is that we've been warned by AG that we need to have our UIFWs. We went to do an introspection, and we picked up that our UIFWs in the main emanate from mainly our expired contracts. Expired contracts that attract a huge budget. There are few that I can mention. It's security. Security is not expired yet. We have got fleet, the yellow fleet, which includes water tankers. That contract has expired. It's got a year expired now. So we just had to take a bold decision and terminate that contract. We also have got panels in operation and maintenance that expired that we also had to terminate. We did not only terminate water tankers, we terminated all expired contracts. But we knew that services must still go to the people. So the issue there really was not about people not getting services. It's because we terminated contracts that we did not know that these contracts are untouchable. So we only knew that they are untouchable once we terminated. Because you could see that in the vicinity of good service providers that are observing that the strike is taking its shape. But you also had councillors that I believe were also somehow linked to these contracts that were so vocal to even close their own building. So it was our interpretation, but we were busy doing an investigation just to get to the bottom of exactly what was the real issue behind the strike. But from my office, the strike only became proper when we terminated those water tankers, amongst other yellow fleet here, like your TLBs, your combination trucks. There's a lot of service providers who are affected. And that's what happened. Now, let's go back to other issues that the EM raised, the issue of water service provision. That I reported to the mayoral committee, ISOship, and I reported two things. We said we've got our own fleet that includes water tankering. We've got a total of 13 trucks that have been made not to work by our own officials for 2 years when I did my inquiry. I'm talking about trucks that went in already for repairs that I had to personally make sure they go in myself. Seated here, Chairperson, we've got 7 that are fixed and back in office. We are still struggling with getting drivers that won't break them, because another problem that we had was it's a syndicate. Our officials will make sure that our trucks get broken so that the service providers can kick in. So we're going through a process of making sure we get drivers, even if they're not from the municipality, drivers that can look after these trucks, make sure that these trucks are properly taken care of. We've already agreed on making sure that the trucks go into our fire and rescue office so that they can be well taken care of, like our emergency trucks of firefighting. So they are going there properly for caretaking and make sure that they are properly looked after. I spoke about the drivers. So it's 7 so far. We're expecting 6 by the end of the week. There'll be 13 in total. So the plan is to take these 13 and send them back to operation with the aim of reducing the procurement or the contracted trucks. Now, that is 1 out of 20 in terms of cost containment. But in the end, the ultimate aim is to make sure that we're able to register enough savings on the water tankering so that we're able to do a bulk line that will give water to the people of Habalazani area, which is an area which Human Rights Commission has been worried about, that we are not really doing enough in the space. So the aim is to come 1 July 2026, have a line item in the budget that talks to a construction of a bulk line. So for my office and the senior managers SMT and for mayoral committee at the moment is to register a saving in March, a saving in April, May, and June this financial year. We want to canvass those numbers to council so that when we come with a line item and say to council, we're able to fund our own bulk line if you allow us to put a project from the 1st of July 2026. So that is the space that we are going into from a cost saving, but also try to bring water proper, the infrastructure to our communities there. Chairperson, let me also indicate that through the Office of the Speaker, and thanks, Honorable Speaker, I know you're on the platform, we managed to get all councillors in one room through submissions. They have submitted a list of requests in the space of water, roads, and electricity. So what we did was to design a template, and we said to councillors, bring a formally signed off requisition. So we've done a spreadsheet that we can share anytime. It's a consolidated one. By now we know what are the challenges in every ward. That document is there. Now, as we're speaking now, we're talking to a time where supply chain is busy consolidating and allocating service providers where our internal capacity is limited. Service providers to go into Ward 7, for example, intervene in the areas of water, intervene in the areas of electricity and roads and so on. So we've got a clustered approach or regionalized approach that we are busy with in the space of supply chain. They're busy with that. And it's a report that we're going to be reporting to council even this month and when we're taking in our budget. We believe that we are coming closer to communities by doing so and coming closer to what councillors. Before I go to the unfunded budget, allow me to also register that as we speak, our PMU office is already in supply chain process, putting together projects that have to accommodate MIG for the next financial year, 26-27. So they're already in the space, assisted by the province, the Cooperative province, where we are in that space of going into supply chain and advertising for projects. I wanted to talk to the unfunded budget to say it has been a thorny issue. One of the reasons why we've been struggling to convince Treasury that we are doing well and get our equitable shares in time, avoid the Section 216 letters, is because of the unfunded budget. A situation which we managed to resolve during our adjustment budget that just went through in February, and we're going to submit another funded budget in March, end of the month. We're working on that document. But also come end of May, the final one, we again believe that we're going to be doing our funded budget proper. So that's one area that we have managed to turn around the corner. Let me indicate, Chairperson, that my stay here, I've identified that the reason why we've been picking unfunded budget is because of the bogus invoices. Bogus invoices that came from the fleet, the yellow fleet space, bogus invoices that have been coming from the repairs of our fleet, your normal breakages in trucks, your buying of tires. It's a space, Honorable Chair, that I took a decision to transfer those functions to my office so that I can monitor the fleet consumption prop on a daily basis. I've done the same with security, but security was informed by how bad the officials responded to the strike that was so dire last week. So I decided to take over that function so that I can have the first-hand response when such things happen, because employees were in a very serious danger in those days. But back to the service delivery issues, the unfunded budget. There's a lot of wastage along the way. I've just sent through to internal audit 60 million worth of invoices that come from ITS, the issues of steel tanks, boreholes, all that. It came to me, I said, it can be 60 million in 2 months. It can never be. So I took it to internal audit just to verify two things, that there's water on the ground, but also that the prices are reasonable. But I since right there and there instructed the ITS manager in water to say, design a template, a BOQ of some kind, a standardized for that matter, that going forward, service providers are compelled to follow, so that in the BOQ population, when they send us quotations and invoices, we're able to go through line item by line item and identify suspicious line items and start questioning that in the spirit of cost containment. So we are all out gearing towards making sure that we stop wastage that has been going on for too long. That is in the main on the cost containment, which fits proper in the unfunded budget solution. EM spoke about Operation Patela. If you've been following our Facebook pages, we do it every Monday, every Friday when I get an opportunity I join. Just yesterday, I spent time with the team. If not half of the day, I spent time with the team. We strategize on a weekly basis. We still have communities that take chances and go to court, like the community in Ellensrand that tried their luck. They went to court trying to stop paying services, and I'm happy the judge realized that we are really a government entity. It was struck off the roll. So I'm talking to the meeting with two issues on unfunded budget: maximizing our revenue collection through Operation Patela, managing costs on a leakage basis, on a leakage side. So that's how we're able to achieve our unfunded budget, Chairperson. like I said, EM touched proper on several issues, but allow me to close by recruitments. We've got a vacancy in ITS director. We've got a vacancy in CFO. We have done a shortlisting last week, Friday, on CFO. We're doing a shortlisting today at 1 o'clock for the ITS director. So we believe if we close the ITS director space, service delivery will just come naturally. If we close CFO space, the issues of audit, the issues of cost containment, the issues of operation pattern will just come automatic. It's also my prayer, Chairperson, that one day I'll be able to take a bit of the backseat and observe key service delivery units running and the municipality going back to its glory days. That's in the main what I can share. Obviously, the junior officials, we've managed to close about 100 vacancies, but these are at junior levels. We did it in a space from January to date. The procurement process, the HR processes have since finalized, and the appointment letters are coming in drips and drops. And we believe that is enough celebration. You'll be seeing another advert that went out on Sunday, advertisement of the managers, the vacancies mainly in our managers level, managers that can assist senior managers. We've got a lot of vacancies at those. Also, you're going to see adverts that are going out tomorrow, Wednesday, that talks to the general workers, because it's a space where we hit service delivery proper with the general workers, the boots on the ground. That's in the main what I can share with the meeting, Honorable Chair. Our emphasis remains for the purpose of the meeting. We're dealing with the HRC reports. I've given a list, and we commit that everything outstanding will be submitted by the end of the week. Thank you very much.
Yeah, before you take leave on the podium, what is your cash days on hand? Is it a month, 2 months, 3 months?
Let me be honest with the meeting and answer as follows. We always make sure we set aside salaries for 3 months. That one is guaranteed. We pay our dues on the transfer date of equitable shares, like we received equitable share last week. Once we close that space, we pack every other submission until the next equitable share. The reason being, we're still confronted with a huge debt on ESCOM, City of Tshwane, PIC loan. We've got those kind of commitments confronting us. Now, answering your question proper, if I say 1 month, I'll be lying to you. So all we do is we make sure that come equitable shares, we pick up the backlog on all contracted services, on all your PIC, the ESCOM and everyone. We put enough salaries aside. We go and borrow from operational patela and make sure that that is the little money that we can use on a daily basis when there are emergencies. 1 month at worst case scenario. We remain cash strapped, if I have to put it that way. We are overcommitted on the contracted services. That is the space we're dealing with, your yellow fleet, your O&M that have routed to audit. So we deal with that space in the next financial year. Come July, we'll be talking that our ratio in that regard. We should be still talking about 2 months, not 3 months. It will be very too early to speak of 3 months. 1 month for now, Chairperson, and we're pushing for 2 months, at least from the next financial year, July, August, as we proceed. But for now, it's safe to say 1 month.
Thank you, MM and the Mayor. Honorable members, will allow Mayor Jacobs to respond on the issues raised by Human Rights Commission, also to give us the state of the municipality as we speak, and how they are faring in terms of service delivery. Mayor Jacobs, over to you. Executive Mayor Jacobs, are you in the platform?
No, thank you, Chairperson. The Mayor Jacobs is here, and Rupolo Sitting Municipal Manager. The Mayor is here.
Good morning, Chairperson and of the committee.
Morning, Honorable Mayor. Please show your face and introduce your team. EM, are you still there? MM?
Chairperson, were you calling on me?
No.
Okay.
The other MM, Polos. Are you experiencing a challenge, Honorable Mayor? Your worship? MM?
I suggest we discuss my demand. Then if they are sorted out, then we will allow them.
Okay, they seem to be winning.
The video it's a bit dark, but I don't know. Chairperson, our apologies. I don't know if you are able to see me that side.
Yeah, it's too dark in your office.
We are encountering few challenges with the network and all.
Yeah. Now we can see you.
Chair.
You can proceed.
Chairperson,
Yes, Honorable Chaza.
I suggest that the MM, where he's sitting now, face that, turn your laptop to that and sit this side. Turn the laptop all together to face the light. No, turn again. Turn again, come on this other side to face the window, because that's where the light. Yeah, it's facing the window. No. The back of your laptop must face the window. That's what I'm saying. Okay. There you go, you see. Right. Done.
Yeah, you remember the same member assisted you with the sound system.
He's my friend, that member.
So you must start paying him now. He's been offering free services to you. Over to your worship. Yeah.
No, thanks very much, Chair. And again, let me send my greetings to members of the committee. My name is Councillor Thabo Jacobs, the Mayor of Katlehong Local Municipality. I can confirm that I'm with the accounting officer, and I'm with the director of LED, Mr. Pagati, and I think the CFO and the director of infrastructure have also joined the meeting. Chairperson, we would like to confirm that we had received a report that seeks to give a directive to the municipality from the Human Rights Commission about the findings
that were they touched on during their visit in our municipality. We have since made an action plan to address such findings, and we have submitted also the action plan to the MEC of Koksta in the Northwest. One of the issues that were raised, Honorable Chair, in regards to the findings were the complaints related to chronic water access challenges in Reagile that affect parts of Borolelo, Swartragens, Derby, and Skrilek. In terms of our response that time, we had picked up that the main reason why we had faced those challenges was that particularly in Reagile and Skrilek, we had challenges. We have challenges of aging infrastructure, in particular from Koster Dam to Veteran Pump Station, and the mechanical failure of that water pump at both Koster and Veteran Pump Station were the root cause of such challenges. Currently, Chair, we are finalizing a project which entails construction of a 15-kilometer raw water bulk pipeline from Koster Dam to Veteran Pump Station. The project will address the persistent pipe burst of the raw water bulk pipeline and ensure uninterrupted water supply to the water treatment plant. The physical progress of the project is at 98%, and the completion and the anticipated completion date is at the 31st of March 2026, which is this month. We are also implementing a refurbishment project at the Koster Water Treatment Plant, which entails the replacement and the refurbishment of pumps and motors and electrical panels, sand filters, and chlorine reducing systems. The project chairperson will ensure an improved water quality and consistent water provision to the communities in Koster and Reagile, with the sole intention of addressing the matter as raised by the South African Human Rights Commission. We have also submitted a technical report, Chair, for funding for the upgrading of the water supply in Reagile Hospital View. The aim of the project is to improve the water provision in the affected area, which was raised by the Commission. We have also completed a water conservation project through the replacement of the asbestos pipes here in Koster. In addition to that, we have submitted a business plan and technical reports to DWS for upgrading of water supply to Swartragens town. The proposed project will entail construction of a dedicated bulk pipeline from Swartragens to elevated storage reservoirs in Bodorp next to the N4. The project will also entail construction of a pump station, and the intended purpose of that project is to improve the water provision to the Bodorp area in Swartragens. Also, Chairperson, in addition, we have appointed a panel of consultants to develop technical reports for Borolelo informal settlements for
We've lost you. Maybe you can close the video so that you can have a good reception, Your Worship. Mayor Jacobs? Mayor Jacobs? He's freezed.
Yeah, he's completely cut off. Someone must call you.
Mr. Manele?
Tata Kaunda?
Yes, let's check Mayor Jacobs. It looks like the ear has been cut off.
Okay, Chair.
Honorable Chaza, you need to go and be full-time in that municipality to assist technically.
Then I will be double dipping. SARS will be upon me.
So we must ask the CIC to recall you.
Yeah, so that I can deal with issues of sound, across board, visuals.
Honorable Mayor, are you back? MM?
That plan of Honorable Nzimande.
Yeah, Honorable Speaker. Yeah, honorable members. Yes.
Once again, our apologies. I think we are having challenges with the.
Yeah, you can close your video. Maybe the reception is affected by the video as well because you lack good reception.
Yes. Okay. No, thanks, Chairperson. We have closed the video once again. My apologies. Chairperson, I was addressing the issue of sewer spillages and poor sewer infrastructure in Rahile, Sintumule, and Skirlek. We have a dedicated sanitation maintenance team that attends to those spillages and blockages as and when they are reported. I've heard the Commission have given a clear in that direction that those should be addressed within 24 hours of upon receipt of the complaint. We have also submitted a business plan to the DWS for refurbishment of the coastal oxidation ponds. The municipality has placed personnel at the oxidation ponds to conduct cleanup operations on the works to minimize blockages in the residential areas within the lower parts of coastal town. We have also procured a service of an excavator to assist with additional cleanup operations. In terms of the illegal dumpings in Suntumule and Swartregens, all illegal dumping sites, including Suntumule Swartregens, were addressed. The most recent clearing of illegal dumping commenced in the December 2025 to the 30th of December 2025. To further mitigate against this persistent illegal dumping, we have a bylaw that has been drafted. It will be subject to public participation and will be tabled to council for final adoption and gazetting. Due to the financial constraint of the municipality, Chairperson, we are failing to fill certain vacancies, particularly to can help us in that regard of illegal dumping sites. We attached the Chairperson is the public participation notice of the draft waste management bylaw, the newspaper advert, and the waste management bylaw. There are pictures and attendance registers of the awareness campaign that was done. The complaint relating to unsafe housing conditions created by settlements in flood-prone areas, particularly in Sintumule. Chairperson, with regard to that, the municipality has also appointed a service provider, and the service provider has commenced with the work. And we can confirm that the residents settled in Suntumula flood area without municipal consent and earlier eviction efforts under the Prevention of Illegal Eviction from Unlawful Occupation of Land 2026 were outlined as follows: that there will be work that will be completed within 3 months of risk verification. There will be a 3 to 12 month township program of ensuring that there's an establishment, and 12 to 24 months of that, there will be a phased relocation of our people. Within the overall program finalized within the 24 months, in line with the statutory requirements. The complaint chairperson relating to lack of public toilet facilities, particularly in central district of South-Africans, the municipality has appointed also a panel of service providers to deal with issues of renovations through the use of that panel. One public toilet will be constructed in Koster, and one will be also be there's one in South-Africans which will be renovated in South-Africans. There's a standing infrastructure there, but the municipality has since taken a decision that we will renovate that particular public toilet. There is also a complaint relating to water shortages in Woodville. Chairperson, we have since appointed a panel of 5 accredited service providers for water laboratory sampling of water and wastewater for a period of 36 months, which was done in November 2025. We have also appointed an alternative service provider to finalize the water project in Woodville. This comes after the persistent failures by the initial appointed service provider to complete the project. The alternative service provider has commenced with drilling and the testing of boreholes. Additionally, Chairperson, the municipality has appointed a panel of service providers to conduct a laboratory testing on water and wastewater samples across the municipality. This is to ensure that the quality of water is of acceptable standard. The service has started at the beginning of March this year, Chairperson. Chairperson, those are the issues that I wanted to respond to through you. If ever there's one thing that I have missed, I would like to, through yourself, Chairperson, hand over to the accounting officer to add on some of the things that I might have missed.
Thank you, Your Worship. On the stage of the municipality, cash days on hands, the audit opinion, what was it? You can proceed, MM.
No, thank you very much, Chairperson, and all protocol observed. Just to amplify on a few things is that we were, as a municipality, we were able to, after the
you can just show your face, then you close the video afterwards, then you present.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Chairperson. I'm here on the video.
Thank you. Yeah, we can see you. Due to your limited network, then you can switch off the video and proceed.
To the office of the Honorable MEC Molapisi on Friday, as that was a date at which we, as municipalities, were.
Yeah, MM, you can switch the video so that you don't get freezed. We still want to hear you. Yeah, no, you can talk.
No, thank you, thank you. Now I was saying that we, on all the things that we alleging in terms of responding to the issues raised by the South African Human Rights Commission, we have attached relevant, portfolio of evidence to that effect on everything that we had said. If we are saying that there's a project that is intending to perhaps address issues of, water supply in Rachile, where we're talking about the upgrading of, the water reticulation from source, those particular appointments are there. Every little thing that we are alleging is there. Now, the one area that I wanted to emphasize on is where the one of how are we then dealing with informal settlements where people have been, or rather in terms of how it has been put here, that they have been placed on areas that are flood prone. Is that like the mayor has said, the residents, place themselves there without the consent of the municipality. But we have since made sure that we appoint the service, a panel of consultants to do what we call township establishment, acknowledging that as a municipality we must then avail land where people can then, be placed properly. In that regard, we are targeting 1,900, stands, which will house low-cost housing, or rather low-income, dwellers, and the other 3,000 for middle-income, residents. So the inception reports also have been attached to this report to make sure that we address the question of shortage of land for residential purposes. Other than that, the Honorable Mayor has, exhaustively, answered to all the issues that were raised by the Human Rights Commission. And thank you very much, Chairperson.
Your audit opinion?
Our audit opinion stands at qualified, Honorable Chairperson. We have been in 3 years of qualified audit opinion.
So are you responding to the issue that Auditor General raised? You have the audit plan, action plan.
Okay, the issues that have been raised by they would relate mainly to how we're addressing issues of UIFNW, to payments to third parties, and to issues of UIFNW, Chairperson, is that we have since commenced, I think for the past 18 years, we're dealing with historical UIFNW, which was not addressed since 2013. And we have tabled to council and to MPEC for investigation, and also to the council established disciplinary board, several reports amounting to 354 million, where we were able to get write-offs in terms of the recommendations from disciplinary report, and from the MPEC. And we are in progress. One thing, Chairperson, would be very much, we're very much thankful because we got the support from COGTA and from Provincial Treasury, where we're able to be assisted to process these particular reports. And our target is that by the end of this financial year, we must have tabled the entire historical UIFNW, before, the sittings of council, MPEC, and the disciplinary board, so that where consequence management needs to be applied on on certain areas, such should be addressed. I know that now we will be sending the UIFNW amounting to 130 million. The end of this quarter, in the 30th of March, and the rest we are targeting that between March and June we must have exhausted the entire register of UIFNW. In relation to the payments against SARS and the AG, those are the issues that have been raised. There are agreements, arrangements that we are honoring as a municipality. Perhaps you would also experience that we never had impediments in terms of receiving equitable share, most recently due to the municipality, honoring those particular, arrangements, Chairperson. And there's the other slide that talks to in relation to performance, where there were, in terms of basically on service delivery issues, that were it said that once expenditure stood at around 90%, we were able to only achieve 54%. There we flagged, Chairperson, in terms of how we responded to the committee, and that which the report has been, obviously tabled before or sent to the office of the Honorable MEC Molapisi, where we're indicating the progress in terms of all the projects, that are funded either by WISIC, MIG, RBIG, to the office of the Honorable MEC, and where we're showing progress in terms of where we are in relation to those particular projects. And can rest assured, Honorable Chairperson, that as a municipality, we are confident that we are completing the projects, as they would have been, approved and funded by COGTA, either COGTA or Department of Water and Sanitation from our side as a municipality. And we're doing that without fail, Chairperson. And thank you very much, Chairperson.
Your cash days on hand, how many days are you left with to meet your monthly obligations and your finances?
How many days?
Now I'm saying your cash days on hand.
Okay,
it's gonna last you. The demand that you have, how long is gonna last you? A month, a week, 2 months, 3 months?
The money at hand, Chairperson. Chairperson, the way that I should put it is that we are a municipality that is under financial recovery plan, as you would know, or section 1395 A and C. A municipality that is, under collecting and are making efforts to make sure that we improve on our revenue base. And in terms of how frequent we pay our service providers, is that the payments exceed, the payment period exceeds 1,000 days, and that is not a good sign, Chairperson. But in terms of the efforts that we are putting to table is that we are pointing, the service where we shall be assisted in terms of collection, because we have made, we have put to our communities or the residents or our consumers, all the efforts in terms of how, with the intention, obviously, that we raise revenue, where we're putting that incentive, but, and also, doing participation to invite people to come so that we optimize on our revenue collection. But that has not seen much fruition that we had anticipated, Chairperson.
So the money we have in the account, is it going to last you 20 days, 30 days, 60 days? That's a question.
The money in the account would last us 2 months, Chairperson.
2 months?
Yes, Chairperson.
Okay, hey, that means you've got big money there. If it's 2 months, okay. All right, thank you. Honorable members, it's now your turn for up until 10 to 1. It's now your turn to engage the 2 municipality reports that they've presented and their responses as part of the South African Human Rights Commission, and engage the report of Human Rights Commission. I know that we still need to go to provinces and meet with the Premier and the MECs to ascertain that all these recommendations, they do find expression and they give us report on how far they've gone in implementing these recommendations. But after we've adopted the report of today's engagement with the Commission, then we present our recommendation to the plenary and COP plenary. Let me take hands. Honorable Skill Kocher, you are the first. Honorable Eza, you are the second. Honorable Zimande, you are the third. Honorable Makesini, you are the fourth. Honorable Berenhorst, you are the fifth. Honorable Mabibo, you are the sixth. We'll take other hands when they come.
Not me, Chair. I can't raise my hand, Honorable Molokome.
Oh, okay. Honorable Molokome, our whip, we are noted. Let's start with Honorable Skill Kocher.
Thank you, Chairperson. I just want to start by a quote from Ismail Serageddin, one of the co-chairs of UNESCO, and he said, the wars of the 21st century will be fought over water, and this report clearly states that. So, Chairperson, the Commission report notes that the municipalities across the province have systematically failed to fulfill their constitutional duties to perform basic services, water, sewage, refuse removal, roads, and storm management. And then the provincial oversight have been ineffective. So I just want to find out how or can the Human Rights Commission use their powers under the Constitution to translate its recommendation into binding directives? Or, for example, does or can the Commission intend to use subpoenas, court proceedings to refer the non-compliant municipalities to Parliament for intervention? Then my second question, Chairperson, the report shows that the residents of Sunnyhof now have endured nearly 3 decades of failed septic tank services. So the sewage overflows and toxic gases continue to expose residents to great health risks. Now, in the same report, notes the municipality failure to violate resident rights to dignity, a healthy environment, sustainable service delivery. So, again, how can the South African Human Rights Commission use its investigative powers to subpoena them, to secure immediate remedial action, such as compelling the municipality to vacuum septic tanks, repair infrastructure, and refund residents for the service not delivered? And then, will or can the Commission refer officials for prosecution for contempt of court if they ignore these directives? And what accountability measures will the provincial government and Tshwane municipality implement to resolve this long-running issues? Then, in Madibeng, in the Melody area, residents have experienced 28 electrical interruptions between the 8th February and 5th of March this year. So amounting to more than 46 hours without power, and yet the municipal managers failed to respond. So this undermines the livelihood and infringes the rights of services. Now, again, can the Commission compel the Department of Cooperative Governance and Public Works to produce a time-bound plan to repair electricity work? And what is the Northwest Provincial Government plan to stabilize supply if they are here? Then my second last question, Chairperson. Now, the farmers in the Zeerust area have been forced to maintain the D132 road because the provincial government funded upgrade was never completed. So the road remains unsafe and unreliable. So stakeholders have warned that the continued neglect will terminate contracts with local growers and devastate rural livelihood. So it will put these farmers and the community at risk because they will lose income. So how can the South African Human Rights Commission employ its constitutional mandate to monitor these infrastructure projects and secure redress to the harmed communities? Now, and then is the Commission willing to recommend criminal or financial accountability to officials to refuse the fund mark road upgrades? And then my last question, Chairperson, the Commission's report identifies again systematic failures in governments and call for urgent rehabilitation of water and sewage. Yet again, we're back at Madibeng, found that numerous municipal vehicles and equipment standing in idle, overgrown grass, and residents are told that they don't have resources towards electricity, water leaks and repair infrastructure. And again, the executive mayor confirmed from our oversight in October until now, Chairperson, nothing has happened with that wastewater treatment plant, and they still relying on water tankers. I think the municipal manager said that 60 million rand over 2 months, where it could have just 13 million to once off. So what mechanisms can the South African Human Rights Commission use to compel municipalities to account for the proper utilization of public assets and ordering to fix it? And Chairperson, I don't know what is the word in English, and I couldn't find one while I was going through the report that applies to people who are willingly to sacrifice the literal existence of human life just so that they can put a few rand extras in their stuffed pockets, and the word evil doesn't even begin to approach it. So, yeah, I'm very concerned. And then that is all that I have for now. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Let's take Honorable Cesar.
Oh, thank you very much, Chair.
Responses after.
Thank you very much, Chair, for that opportunity. Section 26 guarantees houses. Section 24 guarantees a safe and healthy environment of the Constitution. Section 27, access to water and sanitation. Moreover, Section 10 of the Constitution guarantees dignity. Furthermore, the human rights guarantees security. So if there is no lights, there is no security. The crime escalates in those municipalities. The Human Rights Commission has reported widespread service delivery failures in Northwest municipalities with persistent violations of constitutional rights despite repeated interventions. National government officials were deployed into these municipalities under Section 139(7), yet the failures continues. In terms of your investigative and monitoring powers under Section 184 of the Constitution and the South African Human Rights Act, how many national officials were deployed to Northwest municipalities? And how do you believe municipalities continue to fail even when such officials are present? Specifically, what systematic governance weaknesses in terms of MFMA violations or provincial oversight gaps have you identified that explain this persistent collapse, and what binding remedial measures has the Commission recommended to address these violations? That's one question for the human rights that I have, Chairperson. On Matibeng, I just wanted to check with the the state of the environment of council, the state of the environment itself, because she took us to some dodgy sewer plant there, which did not meet the expenditure. We questioned that, and then I just wanted to check what is the status of that sewer plant, because it didn't look like it was being rehabilitated. The only thing we saw the fence, and also the fact that she raised issues that prompted his suspension for 14 boreholes. What is the status of that particular issue of the 14 boreholes he was suspended for, who was held liable, and then on issues of why has the municipality repeated to the qualified audits year on year, Chair, with control failures, ignoring the MFMA's section 62, subsection 1C, and derailing the IDP priorities for sustainable infrastructure in the 2025 annual review. How many material irregularities has the Auditor General uncovered in your municipality? And what real steps under section 171 of the MFMA are protecting residents from the fallouts of bogus invoices and financial mismanagement? In terms of Gauteng refill, there, Chair, we saw the problems of toilets, and I think that you spoke about, and the members, we spoke about the issues of the norms and standards, and you correct me, Chair, the norms and standards in terms of development and also in terms of the provision of human settlements and sustainable human settlements, that we must perhaps, as the committee, speak on those in terms of how we recommend some amendments into that, so that there is generally accepted standards nationally. It doesn't. It would not say this municipality is a rural municipality and here is rural areas and therefore we build big toilets, because it's a direct violation of Section 10 of the Constitution, and that needs the work of the committee. how does the municipality that is Kirtland Refi justify the illegal dumping sites? What cleaning processes does the municipality have? Do you need tenders to clean your own municipality? Because that should be the first thing, is your own environment. You want investors to come. You don't want investors to come into your space to actually create jobs in your space in terms of the local economic development and so forth. You don't need that. How would you attract those, and how would you attract professionals in your space to actually work in your space where you can't even clean your own house? It's quite mind-boggling, that, because that should be the first thing you do. Because when you wake up in your room, the first thing you do is to make up your bed before you go to a shower. So I don't understand, why do you have to wait for something or some service provider somewhere? The mayor on Matlibeng spoke about the hostility of this thing I don't know, Chair, what you are going to do, because outsourcing is proving to be really hostile, and it's showing in the report of the mayor that and the MM of Matlibeng that there's hostilities on the 315 million that is found to be irregular within the space of tracking, So I don't know what is your insourcing plan, to ensure that municipality, the taps are not dry, because as the South African Human Rights Commission is saying it and emphasizing and lamenting on this issue, is that you really are violating the human rights and therefore the community rights, of closing the taps and opting for water tankering. And this is quite prevalent. The Human Rights Commission is quite correct, Chair, because even in Amatole, everywhere, this water tankering issue, even across Zululand local municipality, this water tankering issue has to do with political. It's a patronage network. This water tankering. It has to be. There needs to be a paradigm shift, you see, in terms of how we view this hostility that even threatens the mayors. You see, if a mayor if MM is actually a reading of irregular contractors, then you have people that are sponsoring a strike, not based on those issues that are raised by the Auditor General, but based on self-seeking interest, based on self-benefit to the constrained budgets of municipalities, milking the state. And it goes to private sector as well, across board. People of South Africa want their own interest over the interest of the communities. And the Human Rights Commission must come here on this committee and tell us really, how do we get to a point where we protect communities? Because there are court processes, Chair, that have been issued. The Pretoria High Court declared municipalities' failure to provide basic services unconstitutional, violating the rights of water, dignity, and access to services, right? And this is caused by such things as outsourcing of services that should be delivered by a municipality, And therefore, I don't think that the issue of capacity is something that we can be stuck on. It seems like a detour to me, because In certain municipalities, we have mayors that are coming from here in parliament. So the issue of capacity becomes quite curious in those municipalities. You know, you have officials that are coming from national government, and that issue of capacity building is quite a stark improvement, Chair. So
as you conclude,
as I conclude, Chair, we need an oversight mechanism that is effective from a point of view of the MEC, from a point of view of the MPEX, and the PSC and other Chapter 9 institutions to actually hold the executive to account and rid itself of corruption and political interference. Thank you very much.
thank you. Can we take the dead hand? Our whip has made a special request, honored members, if I can beg for indulgence, if we allow her to ask a question now, so that she can get the response when the department, municipalities are responding, as well as the Human Rights Commission. Honorable Moloko, you can come in, then we'll allow the responses on the 3 questions.
Well, thank you, Chairperson. I think I hope audible. Thanks for the opportunity, and let me welcome both the reports from our mayors and also the Women Commission, Dr. Boshoff, for the report that he has presented. Chair, I had thought that maybe because when Dr. Boshoff was presenting, he did mention of the provincial government or department in terms of them failing to intervene in certain municipalities. So when mayors were given responses on the issues that were raised, I had thought that even the MEC or anyone who's representing the MEC will come in and maybe give clarity on things that they are doing to assist this municipality, because section 139 and 154 is clear when coming to the mandate of the provincial government. So I had thought that they'll come in and respond to such matters. And we know that we have visited the 2 municipalities in Northwest, which is Gauteng and Madibeng. And I'm not going to dwell much on what Honorable Kesa has touched on those issues. And the provincial government was present in those meetings that we had. And in Gauteng, we know they were dealing with the issue of the financials, and Madibeng, section 106 of which the mayor has touched on that. So I just want to get clarity on Madibeng issue that the mayor has raised in terms of the section 106, the withdrawal that he has alluded to. And I know that he has mentioned that they are still waiting for the MEC to come and give them the report. I believe that even the speakers in the meeting, they'll be able to clarify such matters. And maybe let me appreciate the audit outcome after the 15 years of advice that the municipality was receiving. And now they indicated that they are at qualified audit opinion. And I believe, Chair, that the issues that the Auditor General has raised, they'll be able to address such issues. So in our previous visit in this municipality, we had picked up that there were some issues that were raised by the MM in that meeting. And I'm a bit worried about the information that we are getting. You know, the issues of service delivery is something that touches our hearts and that of the communities that we are serving. So if you get the information that there are some strikes that are influenced by certain councillors, I think this issue, Chair, is a serious issue that needs to be investigated, because we can't have councillors that are disturbing the service delivery. And, you know, just because of what the MM was saying in terms of the beneficiaries and or beneficiations that they want to get from these water tankers and the TLBs that were mentioned. So I think on this matter, Chair, we need to get the full report of what is really happening, and so that we can investigate more on that issue. So I'm happy about the progress and the way they are addressing issues that were raised by the Dr. Boshoff, and also I think there's the action plan that the both municipalities has indicated that they've the action plan in place, and I believe that they've submitted the plan to the office of the MEC and also the office of the Human Rights Commission. So, Chair, I think some of the issues my colleagues has touched on, and I think I'll just pause there, Chair. I'll just pause there for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Whip Molokome. Let's then allow Dr. Boshoff and commissioners to respond, and the municipalities to those specific issues. Thank you.
Chairperson, thank you very much, and also thank you to the honourable members for the questions. Chair, firstly, I think it is well documented that over the last decade or so, the Commission has had some challenges with regards to the implementation of its recommendations. You know, there was a simple disregard for the recommendations of the Commission. Not only municipalities, but many stakeholders simply ignored the recommendations of the Commission. Now, when this new cohort of commissioners arrived in January 2024, and specifically with regards to municipal service delivery, we decided that, yes, we have certain powers in terms of the South African Human Rights Commission Act, but it was also important for the Commission to escalate, you know, its findings and also the recommendations, the reports that it issued to Parliament. Now, the reason for that is, remember, the South African Human Rights Commission is accountable to the National Assembly, and we also have high regard for the work of the National Council of Provinces, specifically this commission, or rather this committee, when it comes to having oversight over local government in the country, in all the provinces. So we were therefore extremely relieved when we participated in the program of this select committee last year in the Free State province. We are also extremely grateful for the opportunity to present this report before, or to present it to the select committee. And I earlier during my presentation said that it is extremely important, you know, to fix local government. It requires all hands on deck. We require the support and the assistance of both houses of Parliament, all Chapter 9 institutions. Honourable Pesa is 100% correct. We require everyone's involvement. Also civil society, the business sector, the corporate sector, etc., etc. Now, the Commission has utilized its powers in terms of what is available. In fact, I presided over subpoena hearings in the West Province last year, we subpoenaed a number of municipalities to appear before us for simply not providing documentation, simply not even replying to letters we had written to them, ignoring correspondence, and we subpoenaed these municipalities to appear before us. We also decided to conduct this investigative inquiry to, the purpose of this inquiry is to have something tangible, to have a report that we can table in Parliament, a report that we can upload on our website, that many stakeholders, including the public is extremely perturbed about the state of service delivery in the West Province. It's important that everyone takes note. We have also litigated. Again, Honorable Kesa is correct. He referred to the Pretoria judgment with regards to Madibeng. We've litigated against municipalities, and we will not stop litigating against municipalities, funds permitting. We obviously we are strained financially when it comes to litigation, but we've litigated in the Free State. We've litigated against Masilonyana. We've recently filed papers against the Machabeng municipality in the Free State. The respondents have filed notice to oppose. But it has happened. Can I proceed, Chair? Yes.
Yes, you can proceed.
Someone speaking. Okay, thank you. So we've litigated against municipalities. We will continue to litigate against municipalities, funds permitting, and we will continue to subpoena municipalities. We will also subpoena the provincial government. With regards to the role of provincial government, Honourable Chair and Honourable Members, you are familiar. Honourable Molokome referred to sections 139 and 154 of the Constitution. And it's important, in terms of these provisions, the provincial executive must support, strengthen, monitor, and intervene where municipalities fail to fulfill their constitutional obligation. Now, this sheer volume of unresolved complaints confirmed by our site inspections and corroborated by our oversight reports shows that the support provided by provincial government and the intervention have been insufficient or even ineffective in dealing with these service delivery challenges that we have that we've brought to the attention of the Honourable Committee. Now, we made findings, specific directives for the attention of the provincial government, and we said they must support municipalities. They must monitor compliance with the remedial plans. They must facilitate emergency funding where local budgets are inadequate. Address the security of service delivery infrastructure. Now, Chair, again, we did brief the committee about the sabotage of municipal infrastructure. It was confirmed by the two municipalities today. In fact, when we have these inquiries are inquisitorial of nature. When we start with the inquiries, we don't accuse municipalities of wrongdoing. We inquire what the challenges are, and many municipalities in this province, but also in other provinces, the Northern Cape is a very good example, have admitted to the existence of water mafias, the utilization of water tankering, and I've gone public. We have said that the purpose of water tankering is to benefit service providers financially, to benefit municipal officials and even councillors. And Chair, I'm grateful for the invitation to the Human Rights Commission that we advise the committee on how to deal with the scourge of water tankering, the scourge of sabotage of municipal infrastructure, the vandalism of municipal infrastructure. We have developed a policy brief which was influenced by top academics and lawyers and even internal lawyers of the South African Human Rights Commission. It is a quality policy brief in which we have identified the relevant legislation under which these perpetrators should be prosecuted. Chair, with all due respect, the municipalities have admitted that sabotage is taking place in their municipalities. They've admitted that they spend up to 120 million rand a year on water tankering. And that raises questions, Chair. And we would recommend that the two municipal managers that are appearing before you, accounting officers, should open criminal cases against these perpetrators. They know who these people are. They should open criminal cases. And until such time as municipal managers take this scourge, this phenomenon of water tankering seriously, because everyone is talking about it. Honorable Kesa again is correct. It is happening everywhere in all the provinces, and we would like to see municipal managers opening criminal cases, utilize the recommendations that we have made in our policy brief, and we are willing, Honorable Chair, to also present the policy brief to this select committee, because we are of the view that it will address the sabotage of municipal infrastructure that is taking place. We've also referred the policy brief to the Department of Water and Sanitation. In fact, we have had a meeting with the minister to workshop the policy brief. It was sent to the presidency, to the NPA, to the National Commissioner of SAPS, many other stakeholders for comments, even to the Office of the Chief Justice for comment. And we are willing and we are prepared to come and present the policy brief, because something honestly needs to be done. And again, Honorable Chair, we are not only grateful for this opportunity, but we need the support, we need the assistance of the committee to ensure that our recommendations get implemented. From our side, we will do everything possible, allowed in terms of our legislation, and also funds permitting. But we are requesting this committee, and that is why we brought, when I met with the committee secretary last year at the Indaba, I did request, just speak to the Honorable Chair and give us the opportunity to come and present, so that we bring these challenges to the attention of the committee and request the assistance of the committee in dealing with the systemic service delivery challenges at local government level. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Posho. I'll take other members. Municipalities, please note the issues that members have raised for your municipalities. I will allow you to respond at the end. Honorable Makasini, you have indicated the challenge with your video, but it's now your turn. You can come without a video.
Thank you,
Okay,
Chairperson.
you have jumped me for several times, but it's fine.
I'm a female. I'm a female.
No, sorry. No, sorry, Honorable Makasini. I jumped you once for Honorable Molokome, but it's now your turn, Honorable Nzimande. Remember that you have just gone out of the meeting because of the system, and your hand was no longer up. That's why I could not recognize it here, because I always request that members keep their hands up until they speak. Honorable Makesini, please just allow Honorable Zimande to come in, then we'll come after him. Honorable Zimande.
No, Chair, there will be a bit of a noise because I'm already in a bus. But the question that I needed just to check with the Human Rights Commission was what was the reason for them not to go to an extent to ask the municipalities to respond in relation to their failures, because the service delivery item is always on the agenda. It wouldn't have just waited for the commission to come and highlight these issues, because that definitely will need us to ensure that there's proper accountability from these municipalities. When it comes to declaring, they are speaking of appointment of alternative service providers. What will be the financial implications to that? Have they gone to an extent to analyze it, and what will be the consequence management in relation to those ones that were removed? They are speaking of consultants to be appointed. We want just to know how many consultants currently they have, and if they were to add these ones that they are talking about, what will be the financial cost? Remember, the Auditor General expressed serious concerns around the issue of appointments of consultants, which is taking a huge money from municipalities. In Madibeng, then at least Cesar has covered me in relation to the one that deals with maintenance. And partly also, Honorable Lukume has done also so, but in relation to the issue of the syndicate. But I want just to check whether they've opened criminal cases around the issue of syndicates and bogus invoices that they were talking about. Those are the only issues. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Honorable Zimande. Honorable Makesini.
Thank you, Chair. Greetings to the doctor, to the Human Rights Commission and the team and the councillors of the two municipalities and the team. Chair, my issue is on Madibeng, on the issue of the report of Section 106 that is not yet been tabled. I'm not asking Madibeng as such, I'm asking yourself because I'm not sure whether the department is here. We have given them the deadline when we're in that municipality that the report must be submitted. Maybe if we can get now a report, why is this report not yet been tabled, so that the consequence management and everything that it will appear on the report can assist the municipalities to function. So I think the committee must write to the province and get what is why are they holding the report, not allowing the report to be presented in the council. Two, Chair, the municipalities of the Northwest, generally, all of them are under Section 139, either Section what and what of Financial Recovery Plan, which means there's a problem with the COGSTA in the province who are not doing their work, which means we need to check as a committee now whether do we have right people who are doing interventions that are sent in the municipalities so that the municipality can recover, and because already once they send administrator because the municipalities are collapsing. So even if they have sent, they are there themselves, there is no improvement. We need to come with the mechanism now to put this COGSTA, this provincial department under administration themselves, because they are not helping the municipality to come with recovery plan. I'm happy with the report that has been presented to the executive of the Human Rights Commission. And the time frame and the recommendation of the commission, we need to follow and monitor whether all those recommendations are being implemented. Failure to do that, that's the reason also that we emphasize as to make sure this provincial government also, there must be consequences on the side of the MEC for failing to do its responsibility and assisting and making sure the municipality function properly so that we don't have the challenges that are facing. I can't say any more about the Gauteng. Honorable members have covered. Let them, now they have appointed the consultant. I wanted to check whether is there any people there, is there any plan of transferring the skills so that when these contractors of the consultants when they finish, is there so that we can get the rewards of these consultants of the transferring of the skill on the grassroots officials so that they improve the status of the municipality. The issue of the councillors of Madibeng, the issue of the officials, and the issue of the service providers who are making the municipality not to function. Indeed, they must go and open the case on those service providers. Councillors, there are processes that they can do to report them. The councillors, they can be suspended. We must not allow the councillors, because of their greediness, stop the service delivery to happen because they want money to the municipality. It's a fraud what is happening in Madibeng. And I'm happy today we still have of our intervention. We thought today we'll have an 18. At least there's a good progress about the intervention. Let them keeping up councillor that class so that we can monitor whether we are moving or not. So that was my input, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Makasini. Honorable Muimang, Chief Whip. Honorable Chief Whip Muimang. If he's still having some challenges, Honorable Berenost, you can come in. Honorable Berenost. Mr. Manel, let's try and assist Honorable Berenost and Honorable Muimang. I think the system have kicked them out. In the meantime, we'll
Chairperson, Honorable Skipper here.
Yes, Honorable Skipper.
Yes, if the staff can just assist Honorable Bowdeners has been kicked out like Honorable Zamande previously, so if they could just assist him to allow him back in.
Okay, yeah, let's do that, Mr. Manel. Let's get the responses whilst we are still waiting for members to come in. Dr. Boshoff and the municipalities.
No, I think I've responded to the questions raised. I can only agree with the honourable members, especially with regards to what their observations were with regards to Madibeng and Gauteng Rivier, as well as the involvement of the provincial government. You know, Honourable Chair, we were informed last year when we met with the MEC and also during the Munimac meeting that a plan was implemented. I just forgot the name of the plan now in the Northwest to urgently address the service delivery challenges in the Northwest province. The reality, Chair, is that plan will remain a plan. And although there's an attempt to implement the plan, you know, from the side of the Human Rights Commission, we have not, you know, I know it's still early days, it's only 3 months later, but I am very hesitant to think that that plan is going to bear fruits in the Northwest Province. We are still inundated with complaints coming from ordinary residents of the Northwest Province, and if the provincial government does not address the recommendations, the directives issued by the Human Rights Commission in dealing with the challenges in the Northwest Province, I just don't see any progress in service delivery in that province, Chair. We need the assistance again of this committee in ensuring that those directives get implemented by the provincial government. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. On the chats, Councillor Pat is asking why the municipal manager have suspended all the PMU managers. Now, is the question that comes from the member of Troika. But it needs to be answered as well. Yes, it's here on the chats.
Sure.
The question reads as follows. Can MM explain why he suspended all PMU members' division that's affected spending of MIG expenditure? That will need to be responded to. But the first response will be why the question is asked here, because you come from the same municipality. Mm-hmm. But anyway, it needs to be answered. Let's allow the municipalities to answer the questions directed to you. I'm hoping that members are rejoining. Okay. Honorable Bedenost is back. Honorable Muimang is also back. It was your turn, Honorable Muimang.
Chair, if I may come in just a bit, can you please raise the heads up of both honorable members who were kicked out on the issue that you've just raised from the charts, please?
Yeah, no, the question was asked by Honorable Paddy, Councillor Paddy, I believe the Speaker, why the municipal managers decided to suspend all PMU managers, which have directly affected the expenditure on the MIG of the municipality. That was a question asked by Honorable Speaker. I think it needs to be responded to. Honorable Speaker, are you here with us? If you can come in and reinforce what you have written on the chat. It seems as if Honorable Speaker has been kicked out. Honorable Muimang, are you here?
Yes, Chairperson, I was kicked out too.
Yeah, sorry for that. Both of you with Honorable Bedenost, you were kicked out, and it was your turn. So you can come in now. Then Honorable Bedenost will follow you.
Thank you, Chairperson. Let's appreciate the presentation from the Human Rights Commission. Chair is mainly in terms of process issues, particularly from the presentation made. The Commission indicate that a presentation was made to the MUNMEC and also to the Cabinet Lekgotla. And I guess a consolidated action plan will have to be an area of priority that we make a follow-up on. both from the MEC of Cooperative, but also individual municipalities in terms of the action plan that they have put in place. I think this is important, Chair, because I'm looking at the fact that the report was presented in November and we are in March. So in terms of timelines, I suspect that could be the reason as to why we have not had a presentation submitted to the committee by both Cooperative and also the presentation that we received from the two municipalities. I want to believe that it will be important for them to send us those presentations that they made today, so that as a committee, then we are in a much more better position to exercise our oversight. Chair, this is important because the commission correctly so identified certain municipalities and service areas. And I believe that there were evidence that was relied upon and trends or complaints or site inspection and oversight reports that probably drove the methodology of the Human Rights Commission. And correctly, we need to appreciate the point of emphasis on rights that were in contention as a result of the report presented. But I suspect there will be, amongst all these municipalities, there will be some hotspots or high-risk areas that has to be escalated in terms of sewage, water interruptions, refuse removal. And probably the commission could help us with that. It does not necessarily have to be today. But I think what is also critical, Chair, is the remediation action, the remedial actions that the commission would regard as a minimum in terms of ensuring that we begin to start implementing the recommendations of this, so that at least the commission could then say to all these municipalities to say, look, in terms of the report that we have presented, these are the minimum that we expect you to comply to move in terms of moving forward, so that there is then an element of infusing confidence in the work that the commission does, but at the same time to ensure that there are issues that were identified that directly impacts on our community's life is then also attended to. Other than that, Chairperson, I suspect we'll have to get a presentation from the Department of Cooperative in terms of the degree to which they interact with municipalities to directly help them to respond to the issues that were elevated and lifted up by the commission. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Whip. Honorable Perenost.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm going to keep my video off. I suspect that's why I got kicked off in the first place. Chair, I think the Human Rights Commission report, and we say thank you for the Commissioner to table the report in front of us today, lays bare a very disturbing reality that in parts of the Northwest, residents are not just underserved, they're also subjected to conditions that violate their most basic constitutional rights. So we're talking about communities living in raw sewage, unreliable water supply, failing sanitation, and collapsing infrastructure. And I think, we got to look at why this is happening. It simply can't be because of a single failure. It must be a cumulative effect of administrative breakdown, of political neglect, and I think of weak provincial oversight. So the key question, I think, is this a funding problem, or is it a failure of governance and accountability problem? So taking that into account, I'd like to just make use of the opportunity to ask the Commissioner, because we very seldom see the Commissioner in our committee, unfortunately. And I think it'd be good to see more of this of the Human Rights Commissioner in our committee. I'd like to ask the Commissioner, based on your investigations, are the service delivery failures primarily the result of weak administration, such as poor planning, lack of maintenance, and failure to execute, or is it a lack of funding? Did you find any evidence of effective consequence management within municipalities, or does the persistence of these failures point to a culture of no accountability among officials? And I think you touched on it, Commissioner. And let me ask the two MMs while I'm talking about accountability. How many criminal cases have been laid in terms of infrastructure sabotage in the two municipalities? And if non-criminal cases have been laid in terms of infrastructure sabotage, why haven't you done it? And when will we start seeing the opening of criminal cases if that's the case? And then looking at political failure, I think, Commissioner, I'd like to ask you, to what extent did political leadership, for example, mayors and councils, fail to exercise oversight and intervene, despite clear and ongoing service delivery breakdowns? And would it be fair to conclude that in many instances, political leadership has allowed these conditions to persist, effectively normalizing the violation of residents' rights? And in regards to the province, just one last question. In your view, are the current provincial interventions sufficient, or are they failing to address the systematic collapse identified in your report? Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you. Speaker Paddy, are you still here? All right. Let's get responses, especially from the municipalities as well as the Human Rights Commission, wherever there are gaps that they still need to fill on the questions asked. Let's start with the municipalities. Your responses, please, on the issues raised. Have the cases been opened against those who are looting?
Honorable
And
Chair.
what are the steps taken against the councillors who are marching against the municipality through the code of conduct of councillors? Yes, you can proceed, Honorable Mayor.
No, thank
Yes,
you. I thought it was Kathleen, Chairperson. Is the the municipal manager from Kathleen? Can I respond? I think.
Yes, you can respond.
No, thank you very much. I think there are a few questions that were asked from Kathleen. I think they relate first to the issue of the dumping site, the VIP, not necessarily pit toilets that we have on site, and whether or not we are opening criminal cases when there's attack on our infrastructure. Let me confirm, just starting with the last one, that we have several cases that we have opened with the South African Police Services, and we can showcase that in terms of that particular evidence here, where we can avail case numbers where there's been attack or sabotage to the infrastructure, including the theft of perhaps of the cables, electrical cables, and even the transformers. We've opened those particular cases and have also made follow-ups with subs. To Chairperson, the honourable member said that there are pit toilets in the Derby area. Let me just perhaps clarify that those are not necessarily pit, but VIP toilets that are, acceptable by law, because they are also even grandfathered by the Department of Human and Settlement, where there's like in Derby, the Derby area is declared as a rural development, and those are areas where you would not necessarily have the bulk, sanitation infrastructure. So they become acceptable standards where you want to provide service in relation to sanitation. The other issue will be the issue of illegal dumping. In relation to illegal dumping, in terms of a report that we have tabled, Chairperson, is that you'll realize that, and perhaps to start with it, is that we're in the main collecting refuse in all our townships and towns around the towns of Derbycoster and Swartregens and their townships. Just in few areas where you find that there are, informal settlements where there's not even access to those areas where we would not collect. And we have over the period, collected, or, where dumping sites have been created, we're able to then, like it will state in the report that in 2022-23, we did, 2023-24, we did, and 2024-25. And there's portfolio of evidence with regard to that we've always been trying to clean those particular illegal dumping sites. They become persistent, but to mitigate that, Chairperson, is that we have taken an initiative where we now promulgating a bylaw, on waste management, where then we can levy penalties against perpetrators so that we can have that reduction. Because for us, much resources will have been wasted if we were to make that a normal service, is that people should wait for us to come and collect at, given schedules. But you find that even when, they are scheduled for connections, but they still continue dumping, except even when we have made those particular, engagement with them at public hearings, at, campaigns against this illegal dumping activities. But we are cognizant that, that there are those, but we are trying to manage as much as we can from our side. And on the issue of, let me check the other one.
Skills transfer on the consultants.
The last one is, the Chairperson, is on the hiring of consultants. Is that with the
and
consultants?
The skills transfer, yes.
Yeah, is the one where the consultants we're using in particular here is, and when I mentioned during the presentation, for issues of township establishment, where the municipality would not necessarily have the necessary capability. That's where you conduct the EA studies, geotech studies, where would not necessarily have the human resource capital to do the work. So that's where we appoint the panel of consultants to then do the work in terms of those particular township establishments that are referred to earlier, Chairperson. So it's not necessarily that we're using maybe consultants even on areas where we could have human resource capital equal to can do the functions. And thank you very much, Chairperson. If there's anything that I'm missing, I shall be clarified. Thank you.
Yeah, the point was that when you hire services of consultants, you need to be certain that your team at a municipal level, they become very close to that work, so that when the consultants leave, at least the skills transfer would have been conducted. I think that was the emphasis from Honorable Magazine. Yeah, I think we have covered the other issues. Let's go to Matibe.
Chair. Honorable Chair.
Yes, EM.
Yes, I was just saying, probably we should allow the MM just to respond to the questions. Safe to say, just a comment to say, I think the contributions by honorable members of their expressions on these matters clearly assist us as a municipality to move forward. Because let me just state that in the last interruptions we experienced in the municipality, we approached the local Brest police station to lay criminal charges against the affected individuals, including councillors. And however, we were advised by the police, or our attempt to open a case was rejected by the police. But I must indicate also here that several cases in the municipality were opened against many other individuals, service providers, and who are involved in the disruption of service delivery, including interfering with our infrastructure. But very little success has been registered in terms of investigation and arrest of such individuals. I can only put it here on record that the only time we saw prosecution was with respect to duplicate payments. If you remember, one issue that was reported in the media of duplicate payments, that our officials could process one invoice thrice or twice. And that was picked up and a case was opened, and those affected, in particular service providers, were criminally charged. They are still appearing before the courts as I speak to you. But I would then allow the MM just to respond to others. Just the last point, that we went to court just to obtain an interdict so that the interruptions and the fiddling of municipal offices and so on is done away with. As I speak to you, a peace has returned to the municipality due to that interdict we have obtained from court, interdicting those that deliberately, with a malicious intention, disrupting the operation and functioning of our municipality. On the question of the 106, as I said, we await the MEC's response on the matter and his date for presentation in council. So far, he has just indicated, as I earlier on reported, and I think it's incumbent upon your honorable self, Chairperson, to interact with the MEC on the matter to say, so that you obtain an answer as to when can such presentation be done to council. Can I take this opportunity to allow the MM just to make an addition on specific service delivery concerns that has been raised?
Yeah, HOD has responded from the province that already the copy of the report has been issued to the Speaker of the municipality, but they were interdicted by a certain service provider to come to the council and present the report. And we've been looking for the report because they are saying they've posted the report to the Minister of Culture, National Treasurer, NCOP, and provincial legislature. So from the office of the chairperson, we have not received such a report. We'll make a follow-up on it. But the report is already out there. Okay.
Yes.
The HOD indicated that this week the MEC will be interacting with you in the council. All right, let's then take responses, MM. And where is the Speaker? Councillor Pad, are you here?
Honorable Chair?
Yes.
Councillor Pad is not the Speaker, is the Chief Whip. The Speaker is
the Chief Whip, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So Chief Whip is not here.
But it takes a few seconds.
So Chief Whip is not here. Honorable Man.
Yeah, it looks like maybe network problem, I think.
Okay, that means the Troika, you are not agreeing. If we can come and raise this issue with us. Okay, MM, we can respond. MM, we can respond.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. There were specific questions raised. I tried to gather as much as I could.
Please just be mindful of time. I know you've got passion of doing your work. Even when you explain, you express that good passion. But due to time constraints, we have to summarize now because we've got other engagements. Just be brief,
Thank you
and
very much.
also cover the party raise.
Thank you very much. The Melody electricity interruptions. Let me agree, Chairperson, that indeed the community suffered, but seated here, lucky I'm one of the people that get issues escalated fast. We don't have outstanding cases on electricity interruptions. I can safely say that. The community of Malibeng by now, they know when they're frustrated, they talk to me directly. I can confidently share with the meeting that we are fine when coming to electricity in Milori and other areas, especially from a long outstanding point of view. The issue of the cases EM spoke about, that we need to open cases. I think it was a submission from the floor as an advice. We will be going to the Hawks, I think this Friday. There's one or two cases that we're going to be opening.
Lost you,
Am I still audible, Chairperson?
Yes, you are now audible. We lost you.
Okay.
Before.
Thank you. If I can proceed. I was saying on the SAPS cases, we got an advice that we need to consider opening cases where there are criminal elements. We will be doing that. Certainly we'll be doing that. I was saying we'll also be approaching the Hawks, especially on the revenue that we lost last week. We generate about 6 million a day. We lost about 12 million last week just because of the strike. It's a case, EM, that the Brest police station refused to open. They said this one need the Hawks. It's a economic sabotage case that they can't open. So they asked me to go and open the case with the Hawks. We'll be doing that. But we take advice that in any other area like your water tankering, if there's an element of criminality, we'll certainly go and open cases. I spoke earlier about an audit that we're doing on our invoices that came through. The audit, if it brings criminalities, also will consider opening cases in that regard. We're waiting for a full report on those invoices. I want to also indicate that the sewer plant that was raised, we since terminated, Chairperson. We're also not happy during your visit. We've terminated service providers that were busy with those projects. They were working under a grant, we call it WSIG. So they've been terminated, they've been replaced, and we're monitoring the new service providers with speed. We're hoping we're gonna get improvement. In no time, you will be hearing us saying we're done with those problematic projects of sewer. We also want to agree that the qualified audits, we can't celebrate them anymore. Our bet was to get an unqualified in December last year. Unfortunately, we're suffering from the issues of revenue, the meter readings, together with the VAT accounting. But otherwise, if you look at our audit paragraphs, they've reduced significantly. So they've reduced. We are confident to say that we can plan one more time an improvement in terms of an unqualified as we go into the 26-27 financial year. So I want to share with the meeting that it's an area that we continue to improve. One thing I can register is that the paragraphs have reduced significantly, and we are working on the remaining stubborn ones, the revenue and the VAT, and we are still aiming for an improvement. Chairperson, quickly let me indicate that I did say in one sitting, I think it was in my FICE, that the area that has been denying people services is the area in supply chain. It's a space that has been decentralized. Every office in the municipality or every directorate had its own supply chain process. They were having their own service providers, their requisition books. They could allocate works, give them approval, sign invoices. That is an area that has been denying people services. So we've since corrected that space. So everything is happening in the CFO's office now. And I'm raising that because the issues of budget depleting so fast, the issues of services being paid even before verifications, it was happening in isolated directorates, not in supply chain. So we believe that since we centralize supply chain, even the bills that come to the municipality on a monthly basis are better. And we believe will be able to use the savings, like I said earlier on, to improve in the spaces of service delivery, including plugging the infrastructure permanent, where we have to. Fixing our own fleet is things we couldn't do because it was scattered all over the municipality. So we believe where we are that we are doing some work on the service delivery space. Let me not repeat the previous presentation. I just want to add by saying we already requested HRC formally to do a subpoena. We asked to be subpoenaed ourselves, Rand Water, together with City of Tshwane, because the people in Gabalatsane area and Klipgat, they are suffering in the main because the municipality, Madibeng, is unable to do all it can because the valves are controlled by City of Tshwane and the Rand Water. So we're waiting for that date. I spoke to the Rustenburg office late last week. We're given a guarantee that a meeting will take place before this month end. So we continue to be touched, Chairperson, to be worried where communities are struggling. I pointed out the issue of councillors, the list that we consolidated. I'm talking to you and I'm repeating now, supply chain is busy allocating works in that space to get into areas that are affected. So we are doing what we can at the speed we can. Back to Mafikeng as I conclude. We committed in Mafikeng when we were sitting with the portfolio committee there, that we are going to appoint senior managers, the vacancies. And like I said, I'm 5 minutes away from going into a sitting on the ITS. CFO was done last week. The plan is to go to council end of April and present a good report about where we are. We want to finalize that process ASAP. I spoke about AGSA, the improvement we made in paragraphs. Obviously, we need an audit outcome and an opinion. ICT, we committed when we left Mafikeng that the issue of duplicate services we are going to terminate. We've terminated a service provider. One service provider is a duplication that was done. They went to court. They did not succeed. Security, we committed to correct the space. As we speak, we've got SCM process underway, trying to correct any flaws at the time. I'm talking to a meeting now. SCM processes are underway to correct the security space. We committed to improve our liquidity going concern. I spoke about Operation Patel and the cost containments. The two will come handy in correcting the space. SCM processes irregularities, like I said, it was mainly because our SCM processes were run in directorate offices instead of office of the CFO. We've corrected that. That's in the main what I can share, Chairperson. We remain hard at work, but we remain guided and willing to learn more from the committee in terms of where else to focus on. Otherwise, that's my submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, executive mayors and the troikas. Thank you very much for honoring this meeting when we called you to come and account. Dr. Boshoff and the team, Commissioner. We really appreciate your intervention, especially to come before this committee and table this detailed report. So what we are going to do about this report, we are going to be making our recommendations to the NCOP and the steps that will need to be followed. Then we'll be able to visit provinces, or we call them to the NCOP, the premiers, the MECs, the municipalities, to come and give detailed account on how they are processing your recommendations as South African Human Rights Commission. The other aspect is that we'll be following up on the issues which were raised, including the 106 issue with the municipality of Madibeng, and other issues of policy when it comes to human settlement and the ablution facilities, especially when it comes to the rural housing development. Then the other aspect is that we are encouraging both municipalities to do away with hiring more water tankers instead of during the budget of March, instead of allocating a minimum of resources to try and secure and build their own internal capacity to buy these vehicles and have staff that will deliver water to the people instead of water tankers. Because water tankers, if you haven't experienced the killings within your water units, you are still lucky. In other cities and other municipalities, people have been killed because there are many issues about this water and the water tankers mafia that operates, that also sabotage the infrastructure that we have in municipalities. So we'll be looking at those issues, but we encourage you to allocate your own resources to buy your own water tankers so that you can supply water. But we need to invest more on infrastructure so that there will be no need and usage of alternative service like water tanker, but people will receive water from the taps. We need to invest more money when it comes to that, working with the Department of Water and Sanitation and the provincial government. So that brings us to an end, honorable members, because of time. And we are going to be making follow-up on these issues that we have agreed. And we wish to thank our guest for having kept time, also presented before us, Dr. Boshoff. Once more, we thank you and will continue to collaborate with you wherever we are going. We'll be working with your team to ensure that we get your perspective on our oversight visits. Honored members, that brings us to an end of our meeting, and we are now preparing to go to the plenary. And we thank all of you for your participation and our staff for having put things together. We apologize for the technical glitches that you have experienced where the system have kicked you out. We are very sorry for that. I'm sure we'll improve in the forthcoming meetings. Thank you very much. The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, honored members. Sorry, honored members, can you remain just to adopt minutes? We've got 2 sets of minutes. Let's just remain for minutes.
Chairperson.
Mr. Manele.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, we made a request. Zuki has a doctor's appointment, and you are aware that tomorrow we'll be having a joint meeting with infrastructure. And if the committee agrees, noting that from our side, I can't even share, that we can consider and adopt them tomorrow in tomorrow's meeting, Chair, if the committee agrees.
Tomorrow, there's what?
There is a joint meeting with our committee, the Select Committee on Infrastructure, and with Honorable Badenhorst, with regard to the MIG transfers. We have invited our first-term committee program, the Department of Cooperative, together with the Department of Water and Sanitation. Documents have been shared with members. Notice have been shared with members, including the presentation. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I hear that, but we'll talk later.
So, Chair.
Yeah. No, thank you very much, members. The meeting is adjourned.
Thanks, Chair.